James, great to chat to you. You must be bursting to get started now, get going.
Yeah, it's been a tough old pre-season, but rugby's just around the corner now, so fit and firing and ready to go.
Trying to get up to full speed pretty quickly. That's what I guess the Northern Hemisphere teams have to try and bring into a World Cup. Makes it a bit different.
Yeah, I mean, professional rugby players at the end of the day, we had a long season, international games, club games, bit of a break, which was lovely, and then been in for a few weeks, another week off, in for a few more weeks. So we've been training pretty competitively against each other, so hopefully the rugby's not too rusty.
This is your first World Cup. You obviously won't have the hang-ups about World Cups that Irish people might have about what things might have got wrong in the past.
Yeah.
What does Rugby World Cup mean to you?
I mean, it's the Everest, isn't it? It's the place where you want to challenge yourself. We've had an amazing build-up these last 3 years under Faz. We've had some massive learning curves. We've gone on some pretty neat adventures together, and I think we've built a sense of belief within this team that we can definitely go there and challenge any team that we come up against. So we're really looking forward to that. There's a definite buzz heading into a massive tournament, and can't wait to hopefully hit the ground running.
You call it the Everest there, and you talked about the build-up over 3 years. Was there a sense that all those things you achieved over the last few years, that ultimately if you got all that right, you'd be in the right position right now going into a World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, that was just the byproduct of us getting our own stuff right, wasn't it? We challenge ourselves every day against each other, and the coaches are always striving for the best out of you as an individual, because if they know if they get that, then it'll transpire into a team thing. And we've been very, very lucky, and how we've, I guess, performed and at the right times, and now it's time to do it when the whole world's watching.
Did you watch World Cups when you were a kid?
Did, yep. Where probably first memory was 2007. That was probably my first, one where I really was kind of interested. I would have been, 14 years old, roughly. And 2011, it was in New Zealand. I remember pinting with friends and, watching all that. And 2015, I was injured. I'd done my shoulder, and I actually was in Europe and the UK at the time. So I went and watched I think New Zealand, Argentina at Wembley. Didn't realise it at the time, but 80-odd thousand people. It was pretty spectacular. And then obviously the last one, I had a pretty good interest in it, obviously, and the boys probably didn't perform as well as what they hoped for, but beaten by New Zealand in the quarters. I mean, they played spectacular that day, and that's just how it rolls sometimes.
Thinking back of you as a kid watching the 2007 World Cup, what made you want to be a flying winger in international rugby?
I loved sport, anything with a ball. I was really, really interested in. I mean, it was, academically I was fine, but I never applied myself. But as soon as you gave me a ball and anything, I was too competitive as a kid. Probably not too competitive. I've chilled out a lot now, but whether it was basketball, volleyball, cricket, athletics, touch, rugby, I always kind of gravitated back towards rugby. My old man played a little bit of rugby. He used to joke, he was quite fast, and then he found beer, and then that was it. He used to say back in his day they used to throw in the line out as well as a winger, so don't quite need that skill set anymore. But I was always relatively quick. Jeff Wilson was a star winger at the time, and he was someone I probably really, really liked watching. And then Christian Cullen, Jonah Lowe, those sort of guys. Israel Dagg, Corey Jane, they're all pretty spectacular, and that's who I grew up watching. And I guess that's how I don't know. I kind of I didn't mould myself around them or anything, but they're the boys I used to watch.
The way you play, do you try and keep some of that childish enthusiasm or that youthful? Because you're such an exciting player to watch, and you play like a guy who looks like he's enjoying himself.
Man, like I understand I'm a little bit different. I'm similar, I guess, to Mac, where you can sort of make things happen, step fends, offloads, and that sort of stuff. But if I get the opportunity, there's no point in, you got to. I guess it's my point of difference. So a little. I'm normally bigger than the other. There's not many other wingers, I guess, my size. Anthony Watson, off the top of my head, Caleb Clark probably, but big physical wingers and who like to run with the ball and try to get offloads away. It's my point of difference. So if I can, try to keep it that, hopefully things can happen. Yeah.
You became a dad yourself this year, though. Has that changed you?
Well, I would say it has. I'd say it. Definitely has.
Less sleep, obviously.
Oh no, I sleep through anything, man. Or pretend I'm asleep anyway. It definitely has. It puts things into a perspective. You've literally. Now I haven't been home for much of his life so far, which is it's pretty tough on my wife, but she's a trooper, and a bit of perspective, I think, and other things. So it's not all about me
anymore. Must make it harder to go away.
Yeah, it is. It is very, very tough, but we've got a good balance of friends and family around us. My wife's best friend is here at the moment. My wife's mother actually recently just went back to New Zealand after 80 odd days. So it's all good, man. It's tough, but sure, look.
What does an Andy Farrell squad feel like? And you talked about points of difference, people who bring their own personalities to it. You talked about that yourself just there. Are you encouraged to be an individual? Is it a happy place to be? Yeah, we got some freaks walking about, don't we? Yeah. There's another fella on the other wing, obviously, who's a bit of a character, and all they do is provide a framework to work with. Work inside, and as long as you stay within those realms, but it's very flexible. You can't be so regimented in the way you approach a game of rugby, because it's always evolving and changing, laws and interpretations. And the last World Cup was very territorial based, and I think that we still do play a lot of territory, but if opportunities are on to play, then why wouldn't you play them, back your skill set? And I think we've got a very, very good balance at the moment between our kicking game and our running game, and different boys popping up in different positions. Yeah. How satisfying is it for you that you came into the setup 2 or 3 years ago? You have improved consistently throughout that time. Do we get to a point where this year's Six Nations you play every minute of every game and became and developed as a player over those years?
Yeah, I always thought I was good enough at this level, and then it was just proving myself on a consistent basis at club, and then getting the opportunity, at the Six Nations just been was probably just gave me just reaffirmed my own personal belief, and probably given that to a few of the boys in the team. Turning up at home is easy. Can you do it away? That's a big thing. We're able to do that, and hopefully can carry on that form into a World Cup.
You have achieved so much in the last year or so, going into a World Cup then, and the mantra has always been from Andy and the coaches, constant improvement. How do you not let those achievements make you complacent, or is that being driven from the coaching staff?
I think it's driven from within as well. I mean, the fact with rugby is that the wheel keeps on turning, man. No one cares about what we did in New Zealand. Doesn't matter what we did at the Six Nations. It's all about the next tournament, and the next tournament's the one that everyone wants to win, and everyone's going to be at the absolute best that they can. That's where you've got to challenge yourself. We're going to France with
obviously, and an understanding of the task at hand, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be brutal getting out of our pools, and then the crossovers with two of the best teams in the world if we even manage to get that far. So look, we are firmly looking forward to the challenge ahead, and we'll take the bull by the horns.
Last one then, James. You talked there about it's not just about you anymore. You're a dad now. It's bigger picture stuff. How would it feel to line out for Ireland in a Rugby World Cup, bringing it all back to the kid growing up in New Zealand? And
it'd be pretty special. I've said it before. I never dreamed I'd play international rugby for Ireland, and to be given the opportunity, I've taken it with both arms and given it my best shot. And I hope everyone can see that. My son is Irish now, so doing him proud and doing my family proud back home is obviously an underlying thing that keeps me motivated most mornings. And then, if the opportunity comes, we're gonna take it and see how far we can go.
Wish you all the best.
Cheers.